It talks about with things of going which are prohibited by no. And now the Mishnah gives us a list, things of going which are prohibited, but not prohibited by no. No means there's no prohibition of getting benefit from it. And the Mishnah gives a list. Chalav shechalvo goy v'nisol. Milk that a goy milked and a Jew didn't see him. Here we had a whole sugya. If the Jew sees him, it's not parakum, it's not chalavakum anymore. But it just needs to see him. V'apat v'ashemen shelohem. The bread and the oil is also. Right. The question is, bread of oil is there, and with their bread, the oil is also. If I watch them, I watch them bake the bread, if I watch them squeeze the olives and make oil, it makes a difference. No. By halav, the Mishnah gave us an opening. Halav that a goy watches it, that a Jew watches it is also is mutar. If a Jew doesn't watch, it's also. But if the Jew watches, it's permitted. By bread and oil, the Mishnah didn't give it this condition. Bread and oil that a Jew didn't watch. Doesn't say that. It's bread and oil. Means even if a Jew watched baking of the bread, a Jew watched squeezing the olives, would be also. There's a girsa in our Mishnah, which Rashi brings down that is a wrong girsa. It says, Rebbe ubeis dino itiu Hashem. Rebbe in his court permitted oil. Okay. So Rashi says, and we don't go here because Rebbe, look in Rashi, Rebbe ubeis dino itiu Hashem and lo garasino. We don't go here this girsa. Dolav Yushaye, it wasn't Rabbi Yehuda Anosi that wrote the Mishnah. It wasn't the one that permitted it. El Rabbi Yehuda Nesia, Par Breishan, grandson, Rabbi Yehuda Nesia, not Rabbi Yehuda Hanosi, Rabbi Yehuda Nesia, which was the grandson. Can I read Gemara? Mistamech was Rabbi Yehuda Nesia. Rabbi Yehuda Nesia was leaning down and walking and saying, the Rabbi Yehuda Nesia, the Gemara, I know Rabbi Yehuda Anosi, Ben Benoshe Rabbi Gamliel Berebi. Rabbi Yehuda Nesia is Rabbi Yehuda Anosi, which was the son of Rabbi Gamliel, the son of Rebbe. Shohoyo b'mei Amorim, he was in the days of the Amorites. Gemara. Rochanan Gemara, Rabbi Yehuda Anosi, b'noi Rabbi Gamliel Oiro. That's the son of Rabbi Gamliel. V'inu Rebbe, b'noi Rabbi Shimon Gamliel Oiro. Rebbe of the Mishnah was the son of Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, not Rabbi Gamliel. Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. So you have Rabbi Yehuda Nesia, the son of Rabbi Gamliel, the son of Rabbi Yehuda, and Rabbi Yehuda is the son of Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. So the Rabbi Yehuda, the son of Shimon ben Gamliel, is Rabbi Yehuda of the Mishnah. That is the author of the Mishnah. But Rabbi Yehuda Nesia, who is the son of Rabbi Gamliel and the son of Rebbe, is the grandson of Rebbe. So therefore, when it says in our Mishnah, Rabbi Rebbe ubeis dino itiu Hashem, it's a mistake. It's not Rebbe, it's Rabbi Yehuda Nesia. And that's only in Amoyros, so it has to be erased. Come on, Rashi. So Rashi says you have to erase the girsa of Rabbi Yehuda Nesia, Rebbe ubeis dino in his court permitted oil. Okay. The Mishnah continues v'ashlokois, and that's really what our subject. V'ashlokois, Rashi says, I'm reading Rashi. V'ashlokois, kol dover, anything shebish lo goy, anything that a goy cooked. Normally, the word shlakot means, if you learn Masechet Barachot and other places in Shas, the word shlakot means cooked very well. If I take a vegetable and I cook it very good, it's called shlakot. From the word shlak, shaluk, umavushal means that it's so cooked so well that it's almost like became like elastic, it became like liquid. That's called shlakot. So Rashi says, okay. So Rashi says, shlokois. Shlokois doesn't mean overcooked. It means no, cold should be shlokoi. Anything that a goy cooked. What does anything means? Any food. Any food, not only vegetables, it could be also fruits, or it could be even legumes, even kidneys. Cold dovo should be shlokoi. Anything which a goy cooked. And it doesn't say the level of cooking. Although the word shlakot means cooked a lot, and Rashi says no. Anything which a goy cooked. Now what happened if a goy cooked part of it cooked a Jew? A goy did the gemara, the finishing, he did the middle, the beginning, middle, or end, all of them together, or the main thing is the end. Clear. We don't know. But Rashi says, what?
The Rashi says the meaning of the word shlakot is too much cooking.
Cooked a lot.
So Rashi doesn't have to explain it because in the name of shlakot, it's already explained.
That's not true. Rabbi Reuven, if Rashi redefines as kol dover shebishlo goy, he didn't say kol dover sheshol goy. Kol dover shebishlo goy. Anything that a goy cooked. Why are you closing your hands, Rabbi Yoshua? Cold. Cool or cold? Cool, that's good.
Yeah, so why
with a mastic in your mouth, that's good. With a glass on your face, that's good. Good.
So why did he just say the ashlakot and not bishulakum? Why said the ashlakot?
I don't know. Good question. All this I represent. We're in the beginning of the sugya. I'm pulling down many bombs that you should put in your mind. That B'ezrat Hashem, I'm going to learn the Rishonim. All those things will come up. Achoinim. It's a whole world. We'll see B'ezrat Hashem. And a lot of it's a big nafkamina la'alocha. For example, there's not only the bishul akum. We have a bishul akum. You have, let's say, pizza or not pizza. You buy manot chamot. I didn't say manot chamot. Hot, instant noodles, all those things. Okay. Now, how much the company cooked and how much you cooked? Number one, who says cool? Maybe it's baked. But if it's baked, it's pasakum. What is it? Which grains are patakum? If I bake, for example, I make rice crackers. It's called bishul. It's called bishulakum, or it's called afiasakum. It's called patakum. Or if I do a rice dochan, it's only 5 species. All those things need to be clarified. It's not clear. So a lot of nafkamis la'alocha. When you buy those instant things, noodles, right? Let's say you do the gemara. Let's say they didn't cook it fully, and you cannot be eaten, and you are doing the gemara. You're doing the finishing. Normally, what's the chashivas Yonatan the gemara, right? And a mitzvah nikas al shem gomoy, right? When it finishes, it's called the mitzvah, right? So the same thing as we say by a gemara, you finish the cooking, you are the cooking. So although you bought it, it's pasakum, but they didn't really completely cook it. I mean, bishulakum. But they didn't totally cook it. You did the finishing of the cooking. You did finish the cooking. You are the cooker. And who are you? A Jew or Goy? You're a Jew. So it's kosher. Oh no! Since they did all the preparation, 80%, or it's involved, the Goy is involved in it, it's finito la comida, it's finished.
I thought that
the fire, but you didn't finish the cook. Okay? All those things we need to clarify. When we start going into the Lomdisam and the Rishonim Achoinim, we're going to find out all those things. It is a very, very, very important focus.
You hear
me? There's all those things.
Rabbi Yitzhak, do you hear me?
I don't hear you ever. I only hear you speak.
You don't hear me well?
Yes, Rabbi Yosef.
I
hear you very good.
I thought
very good.
Official akum was only when it's something chashuv. Very special meals. It was something that you bring to the king's table. That's what bishul is. And other than that, it's not called bishul akum. That's what I always thought.
Yeah, we're going to see that in the Gemara. Very good.
Oh, we're going to see that. Okay. Okay.
Let's continue on. I don't know. I just know one thing. Rashi redefined. He says, "Kol dovo shebishlo." Anything which a goy cooked. It continues. Which means every bishul akum has another problem. Listen carefully. We have to know the categories. You hear this, Yonatan? We have afia patakum. We have bishul akum. We have a third thing called gi'ule akum. You know what gi'ule akum means? No, not lifnei, gi'ule akum. Gi'ule akum comes from You have bliyot, you have swallowing of isu. If I bake or cook in a pot or an oven or a vessel of a goy that a goy before cooked there, meat, non-kosher meat, or who knows what, lobsters, cholav akum, he cooked it before. He had his own cooking, bishul akum before. Okay, which means I have bliyot, it's called bliyot, swallowing, called giule akum. Okay, so always when we look on things, we have three things in our minds. We always have to check. Number one is what is Ev? Pat akum. Is this a bread akum or not? What is bread? 5 species, other species. It's baked or cooked. One thing we have to know our mind, we make a view on X. Second thing we have to know, it's bishul akum. It's bishul, not bishul. Okay. Third thing we have to look about, giule akum. What about swallowing from
How do you say the word?
giule? Gimel ayin with an ayin. Giule, gimel yud ayin, lamed yud. Giule, gimel yud ayin, giule, vov lamed yud. Giule akum. Okay? Rashi says, don't worry. When Chazal oiser bishul akum, they did a prohibition on its own. Rashi says, "Va'afilu b'kli ta'or." Even if the vessel is pure, there's no swallowing of any impure things in it. The kli is totally tahor. Capish? So there's no problem of giul akum. Still, there's a problem of bishul akum. But I cannot combine. I can have 2 isurim, 3 isurim. I can have multiple isurim. Capish? So this is what Rashi says. Rashi says about shlokois, kol dover shebishlogoy, anything that a goy cooked it, va'afilu b'kli tahor, even in a vessel which is pure, which means there's no problem of giul akum. Yeah, the rabbis prohibited. Why? Bikulhu. Where's the word bikulhu? And all of them what? Is not one thing, 2 things. They're all in 1 second, hold on. All bishulim.
Other things mentioned in the Mishnah.
Oh, seems to be simple. All the things are mentioned. The kula means all the things which mentioned in the Mishnah. The kulu mishum chas. Because from here, I'll explain. Ask the question, give you the answer. Because the next words in the Mishnah, Vashin, this about Yain Nesech. Vashin, Shedakan Telchon Yain V'choymetz is already a problem of Yain Nesech. Yain Nesech is not necessarily marriage. Yain Nesech is more than marriage. It is the Yisrael with the Zohar.
You have no peace, only one thing here.
We have one second. What we have? We have bread, oil, and shlochos. We have milk, bread, oil, and shlochos. Those are the things which are mentioned a lot. That's 4 things. No, wine is not. Now it's yain nesech. I mean, it's not. You remove it. Different story. So chalav akum is what? Chatnus. We thought chalav akum is also wine. It's a mixed double tummy. So let me chalav akum you have to erase. But bread and oil and shlokois and shlokois, all of them is chasus. Why can I eat bread of going married a daughter? Why can I have oil married a daughters? Why can I eat the cooked food? Because they're daughters. So at least the last 3. But the first one, the milk one, is out. So it has to be in this group, the last group. We have cholov that a goy milk and Yisrael doesn't see him. That's 1 category. Then we have bread, oil, and shlokois and cooked, bake, oil. How do you make oil? You can have cold press. You have to have cooked oil, and you have shlokois, and you have cooked vegetables or cooked food. Any cooked food of a guy, which they all of them kulhu, all of them, shum chasnus, that she might marry their daughters. What?
They said yesterday in the
They would originally want to prohibit it. They prohibit it because of chasnus. Later on, they permit is a different story. Later on, they permit the bread is a different story. But the category, all those 3 things, the reason why the prohibition is because of chasnus. They might marry the daughters. Good. Now we're ready for the Gemara. So really, The first thing is, I want to make dover v'fuchay. My first step is bread versus cooked. We'll call it different words. Baking versus cooking. Okay? We have three problems. Baking, cooking, and gule akum, and swallowing isu. Three things, right? So now I want to do baking versus cooking. When is considered baking? What happens if I start with baking, I finish with cooking? Or part of it is cooking, part of it is baking. Is it the same zara? It's the same thing? The Mishnah puts in two things. The Mishnah talked about bread. And not only that, the Gemara didn't say hafiyah. The Mishnah didn't say hafiyah. You know what hafiyah means, Yonatan? The Mishnah didn't say baking. Bread. The Mishnah says bread. Right? Bread. Means if I bake not bread, maybe cakes, not part of these, I don't know. Why the Mishnah says bread? Because bread is important. People live on bread. So they made it on bread. What about something which is not so important? Bread made out of 5 grains, but it's not bread. If I make cakes, hogalach, kichlach, lush, lalush, not nilush, all those words. We'll see soon.
Maybe not.
It's part of baking of a lot of bread. I don't know. In the world, 1 second. In the world of cooking, in the world of blessings, I will hear Reb Shlomo what you're saying, but I just want to open people's mind. Today is the only shir of Akdama. 3 things. In the world of brachot, the words of blessing. Anyone here learned Masechet Brachot? Very good. In the world of brachot, there is a thing called pat bread, which comes with pockets. There is mezonos, there's a moitzi bread, there's a bread, but there is called pat bread, which comes with pockets. What is it? It's cakes. There's about 4 or 5 shitas. What is a pat when you have to make birkas hamazon on it, a moitzi you have to wash your hands. If you go a seuda or eat a certain amount, so on the shiur you have to wash your hands, say a moitzi, and you have to say birkas hamazon afterwards too. So definitely when it says bread, the choilo, patababikisnim is also part of bread. But by the laws of brachos depends on your mind, how much you want to eat, the measurement, the shiur. Here in the world of Isur, of going baking, I won't say, when the goy baked it, depends on what's in my mind. If my mind is eat a lot of it, so then it's part of the Isur of baking, it has the rules of patakum. And if I don't eat a lot of it, it's not part of bread. Bread is tamoitz because I also said there's no Isur of patakum in it. And then what? Is it empty or it turns to bishur akum? What's going on? There's a lot of, is that an unknown Yosef? What do you want to say?
You can say that.
Don't say, it says, Pas Hashem Shelohem belongs to them. Not even cooking. Even a God belongs to him, a pass, like.
Well, means if a Jew baked bread and he sold it to a goy, and then the Jew wants to buy away from the goy. We also want to mutav.
Shelohem. Don't say Bishu. Pass, because by Jew, Acholem says, Shecholem, it mice. But Pas Hashem doesn't say doing. Doesn't say mice doing. Only belongs to them.
1 second, which means if a goy has pati soil, the goy has a Jewish bread, and he sells in the supermarket. I cannot eat it. Right now, it belongs to a goy. I marry his daughter. Well, I care who baked it. Originally, if the whole goy's daughter, so it doesn't matter who baked originally. Now he's a seller. I relate with that, marry his daughter. You're not off the line. That's the Ramos system. Ramos says like Ashkenazim. The Ramo. When I read the Ramo, it was a big shock. It means how can people buy bread of akum? How can people buy patakum in supermarkets in America or in Europe or in the world? If I see OU, Pas Israel or whatever it is, you see an extra Pas Israel, but I bought it in a supermarket of going. So true is not pasak because it was baked by Jews, right now I have the same Surah Pasach because I'm buying it from a Goyish store. I'm talking about it. Rabbi Shlomo said, I cannot buy bread and oil of them. Of them means if they own it, finish. Or I can who picked in the beginning. Right now, can I buy it from a Goy? Rabbi Shlomo is right. So where are we? Good science, that's what people buy. That's his Surah from Goy. What? So we'll see. There's a way to mati. Yes, the mice is mutar, but according to the Mishnah, yes. So, yes, Yecheskel. First was Machloket. Somebody shining say, yes. אבל זה יש אומרים, זה יש אומרים. יש אומרים, יש אומרים. מה זה יש אומרים? לא כל השיטות. Not all the שיטות.
שיצא לחם שמקום שיהיה יפה, והגמרא אומר שאסור לאכול לחם של גוי בגלל שאתה הולך להתחתן עם הבנות שלהם.
נו, אז לא משנה. אם הגוי owns it, if the goy owns it, it should be awesome. Yes.
Depending maybe on the intention of the Jew, for what purpose he wasn't reading the bread. It's like
because by laws of brachas, your intention makes it a decision. It's a bread or not bread.
Yes, it will be that for me. And then you regret. If you want to do cheese, it can change. So maybe here.
Good. They'll be open. But all those questions I asked, you have to bring a proof. That's our goal. Our goal is to bring rayas from the Rishonim, from the Gemara. What is the law? For all those discussions that we discussed. That's all. I don't know. That's one of the questions we had to put on the table. Shkoyach, for you understanding. That's what we explained. We opened the discussion. There's our Hakira. What does it mean? A bread, a pacheloim, which means ownership or in their possession, or means that they want to bake it. What's going on? Bread that belongs to the Jew, that a goy cooks in a Jewish home. You have Jewish home, Jewish bread, and the goy is cooking and baking it. Okay? All those things needs to investigate. And then he's trying to speak about it. There's eyes of the Gemaras, back and forth. There's all this we're going to discuss Be'ezrat Hashem, with the help of Hashem, next few days. We're going to give out papers. I gave it last month papers. I don't know if it's still around. That's not true. I taught it in Yom Kippur or Shonin. No, say anybody here, I gave Shuli money. Okay, we'll go over again, no problem. More happy. So let's see the Gemara. What are you saying? Good, Va'apat. I mean enough Lamed would base the Gemara. We're starting the Gemara. Va'apat. Where it's from the big lines, you go from the top of the big lines, 7 lines down from the big lines in the Flamed base. Thirteen lines on the bottom. The pot and the bread.
Which stuff, Chabitzchak?
Yeah, we'll see. There's a lot to it. We're going to start going through it, Bezrat Hashem. Thereby Hashem, we see what Hashem opens the door for us. Pot, bread, lohutro bebeisti. Rav Kahana says that Rabbi from the state, bread was never permitted in court. What is he trying to say? Means, first of all, by me saying bread was never permitted in court, I'm also saying was permitted, but not in court. It's included in this statement. When I say bread was not permitted in court, I'm saying was permitted but not in court. Michlal, you can infer from this. He can undershowing there is one that permitted bread, but wasn't in court. Rabbi tells you should know it was not in court. Court didn't permit it. Even the Gemara says you're right. The Chioso Ravdimi Oma, when Ravdimi came from Eretz Yisrael to Babylon, he said, Pamachas one time, Yotzo Rebbe Lasod, one time Rebbe Rabbi Davos, the author of the Mishnah, he went out to the field. The goy and one goy brought in the phone in front of him, Puni, a big bread, a gigantic bread that's being baked in a big furnace. Ma'afeh was the amount of it was seah, big amount of bread, big bulk of one big challah. Omar Rebbe said to the goy, or to the students, Rebbe said, Omar Rebbe, sorry, I jumped in line. Omar Rebbe, how beautiful is this bread? Why the rabbis, what rabbis saw to prohibit? What did they see to prohibit such a beautiful bread? Moses mean? That's his question. Why the rabbis saw? Because of he cannot get married to the daughters. Elo means, you know what Rebbe's question was? What made the rabbis to see the prohibited in the field? Because Rashi says a crime. Rashi says, I'm reading Rashi, the last two lines in Rashi, the last two lines of the page. Why the rabbis, what did the rabbis see to prohibit in the field? The reason to worry might be Paul and marry his daughter. Who knows? It's randomly. It's totally randomly. Randomly in general. So in a random case, you don't have to worry you might marry the daughters. So the Rebbe said, I don't see why the rabbis prohibited this bread in the field.
In the West, when the guy is in his house, he wants to invite him to his house to eat the bread.
Yes. But when it's in the field, or it's it's randomly, there's no what to do exactly. Yes. The nation thought, the students thought, Loimar Palte Goyu. Sorry. People thought that Rebbe permitted to eat bread. Velohi. It's not true. Rebbe lo iter as apat. Rebbe did not permit the bread. So why he said, why the rabbis? So he said it on. He said it on the field. He doesn't see why the rabbis prohibit bread in the field. What do you want to say, Yocheskel?
If you are in the middle of the meal and in I don't know, 7 hours it starts Shabbos and you don't have a bread from
For Shabbat, yes.
You don't have a bakery to buy Israel bread.
Right.
As you are allowed to buy
Yes. Yes, it's in the field.
you know?
And it means it's a one-time deal, it's a random. Rav Yosef Vitema Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda Amar, they say, the story was not so. Elohim rather than he said Pamachas one time. Rebbe went Lemokei to one place. And he saw he saw that the rabbis in the yeshiva, the bread is very narrow, they don't have enough bread in the yeshiva. Not enough food. You heard this concept once? Not enough food in the yeshiva. Omar Rebbe said, in Kampalter, there's no goyish baker, and there's no bakery here. Because the people thought, after Goy, he says, okay, there's no goyish bakery. And he even said, he says, there's no bakery of Jews. So really, we have a difference between the first story, the first opinion, and the second opinion. The first opinion learns that the case here is what Rebbe permitted bread in the field. And according to the second opinion, Rabbi Yosef and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, they learned the story was Rebbe never permitted. So we have a machloek, as the Gemara says, yes, there is mandoma the showing. Even yes, because what Rabbi Yochanan said? Rabbi Yochanan said bread was not permitted in court. It means somebody permitted it, not in court. Who was the one that permitted it? But according to the first opinion, the story of Rebbe was that he permitted it in the field, not in court. But according to the second shot, Rebbe never permitted it. He only said there isn't any bakery here. For bakery of Goy, he meant bakery of Jews. He never really permitted bread. According to the first one, the first opinion of the Gemara that learns that the story was that the Rebbe was in a field, and he said, "Why the rabbis prohibit bread of Goyim in the field?" So there was not in court, just Rebbe alone, and he permitted in the field. But according to the second is Rav Yosef and Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, they hold that Rebbe never permitted. The story was different. Rebbe was only saying there's no bakery here. He meant to say bakery of Jewish. Yes.
The question is below he, Rebbe lo itir sapa. So what Rabbi Yochanan wants to say with this in the Avamina? What was referring Rabbi Yochanan? What will be saying in the facing. But no, Rebbe never permitted. So
Now what does that mean? It means that Rebbe didn't permit bread only in the case of randomly and not totally. People thought he totally permitted bread. Yes, only randomly. And now the Gemara will explain right away. The Gemara will explain right away. Omar Rabbi Chalbo. Afilu Madoma Palter Goy. Even according to the second opinion that the story was that Rabbi asked, there isn't any bakery, and bakery means not a bakery of a Jew, bakery of a Goy. So therefore, there is an opinion here. There's an option. He meant to permit pot of bakery of a Goy. It's only when there's no Jewish bakery. In the place where there is Jewish bakery, loy, he didn't permit it. Rabbi Yochanan even said more. Even one who holds that Rebbe permitted bakery of a Goy, it's only in the field. But in the city, loy, he didn't permit shum chasnus because of marriage. So now we have two restrictions. Even one who holds that Rebbe permitted bakery of a Goy, he said only permitted bakery of a Goy if there's no bakery of a Jew. That's Avchelbo. And Rabbi Yochanan said, even if it means bakery of a Goy, he only permitted in the field, like the first story. Not in the city, because of marriage. So it's only in the field, randomly, you can buy it from a bakery of a Goy. The Gemara says a story. Evo avemanchis. Evo used to bite. For he didn't eat. Pas abei metzore. He used to bite and eat the bread on the borders of the field. So they told Evo, they told the students, don't speak to Evo. The koch eats bread of goyim. So don't speak to him in learning. Means excommunicating. He doesn't listen to the degrees of rabbis. Because he held that in the field, like Rabbi Yochanan, that Rebbe permitted bread in the field randomly, even from a bakery of a Goy. But they held no, Rebbe never permitted it. So don't speak to him. Okay, so we have a machlokes that Rebbe permitted it, and and even those who hold he permitted it. He only permitted in when there's no Jewish bakery around, and according to Rabbi Yochanan, only when the field not in the city. And Rabbi Yochanan said that when I permitted in the field and the city, Rebbe never permitted in court, only permitted himself.
The Jewish falter. He permitted the field.
No, it seems to me that he's not arguing. He's adding. He said when there's a Jew in our which means the truth is I don't know. I assume that Rabbi Yochanan adds a chumah. He's not arguing, but could be he's arguing. So the fee permitted even from Balabait. And because Balabait is worse, it's a relationship. The here is no relationship, that's a relationship. So not clear. Rabbi Yochanan said I permitted in the field, he permitted only from he permitted in the field by a bakery of a goy. What happened? Can I buy in the field from a balabait? Seems to be no. Can according to Rabbi Yochanan, when I permitted the Rebbe permitted in the field, permitted by bakery, can I buy it from balabait? Oh no. Number two is if there's another Jew that sells bread, I'm allowed to buy it? No, also not. Why to say that Rabbi Yochanan argue? Say Rabbi Yochanan just adds. You're arguing by adding. You said when there's a Jew around, you're not allowed to buy. I'm saying not only that when there's a Jew around, even if there's no Jew, you're not allowed to buy only in the field. He's adding chumah. He's not arguing. Okay, Toisus. It's late. You have 2-3 minutes. So I want to start with Toisus. Michlad dikrem andashom. You have the Tosfot there? Minikol marpat lohuto lebeisi. Since Rabbi Yochanan said that bread was never permitted in court, Michlal, I can infer from this, the boy have a shorile. If he wanted, he was able to permit it without court. Rebbe permitted without a court. Good, but why? How can he permit without a court? There's a rule. Any decree of Chazal by Beis, you can only break it with the same power of Beis, and the same wisdom in the numbers and wisdom. Right? Go to the equal more. Here was decreed by a Beis and was permitted by a single rabbi Rebbe. It was good Lador, right? But it wasn't a Beis, so it was decreed by Beis and it was permitted by a single rabbi. It says permitted when there's no Jew around, or only in the field. Great. But how can Rebbe permit it was only single rabbi when it was originally decreed by court? Again, in the Beis, since Rabbi Yochanan said bread was not permitted in court, Michlal, I can infer from this, the body of a shorile, if Rebbe wanted, he was able to permit it even without court. Alma, why? Okay, must be. Loiposhat isu. When the court made the decree, the prohibition was not spread. And this is a very important rule. When Chachomi make a decree, you're not allowed to break it unless you have a basin too to break it. That's only when the basin made a decree and the Jewish people accepted it and spread. But when it didn't spread, I told you that you could destroy it. It was not accepted. So even a single rabbi like anybody can do it. No, I'm putting it together. It's not the same. Was not spread. The Isur was not accepted and spread around the Jews. Only can, and from here, some who they relied after right now on their whole touch of grain. From this Gemara, the Jewish people are relying now in Europe to eat bread of grain. Came on since was not spread the prohibition on all the Jewish people. Again, Toisa says, since Rabbi Yochanan said that Rebbe didn't permit it in court, bread was not permitted in court, means I don't need court. Why I don't need court? It was decreed by court. You need it destroyed by court. The answer is no. Court, when it was decreed by court, you need the court to destroy it, was accepted, was poshat isur. The prohibition was spread and been accepted. But this isur of bread, but that was not spread, Therefore, you don't need a basin to destroy it. The Amrin on day 7, page 36, the next page, which we have to learn. And goizing zara la tzibur, elim kelom hatzibur yochlim lamoid. We don't make a decree on the congregation unless majority of the congregation can handle it. What does that mean? When Beis Din make a decree, they have to make a survey. You hear this? When Beis Din make a decree, they can only make a decree after make a survey and figure out if the Jewish people can handle it. Again, and grazing steratzi, but you don't decree a decree on a congregation. Everyone can, unless so. The majority of the congregation of the Jewish people, they can handle it. Since and how do I know if they were able to handle or not? Really, the majority was able to accept. It means they can handle it. If they didn't accept, it means they cannot handle it. And a rabbi is allowed to use tricks. When the first 12 months, they don't reveal the reasoning. Because they reveal the reasoning, people start leniency. They may have this reason doesn't fit me, this case, that case. They don't say a reason, like with the story of Gvina, right? The first 12 months, the rabbis didn't tell us the reason. Right? You don't know why, because of cave of because of the stomach. Well, in the very long, it wasn't clear. Right? About the zara, they weren't clear. They didn't reveal the real secret. What's the reason? But once they estimate that the majority of the congregation can handle it, and one mistaken with their preservation, the majority of people accepted it, then the decree becomes decree. You can only break it in court. But when it was not spread because the Jews couldn't handle it, yes. So there, that's one of them. We have to speak about it. It's a big point you said. So therefore, comes Tosh and he says, was not spread, was not accepted, so I don't need court to destroy it. So Rebbe, a single rabbi, Rebbe, was able to destroy it. Therefore, the Jewish people rely on this, and when Rebbe permitted it, you'll have to buy when there's no Jewish bakery, you'll have to buy not Jewish bread, and you have to buy it in the fields and the farms, not in the city, even there, we'll see. If Rabbi Yochanan argues on the first of a chel, when the Jewish bakery now, when there's no big Jewish bakery, you'll have to buy, maybe even in the city. So Rabbi Yochanan holds only in the field, but Rabbi Yochanan holds not, so maybe that looks like Rabbi Yochanan. There's a lot of opinions here. And whatever it is, it's an opening. Toisa says from here, the Jewish people rely from here. And it's so since Rabbi Yochanan said he was not permitted in court means was permitted, but not in court because I don't need court. It wasn't spread. Now the Shaili is, were they permitted? So much like is what's down local. First opinion, second opinion, yes. One say, what? What Nachman says? Don't talk to him. Hello? You have to see the Rishon. Okay. It's other Gemara, this Gemara, yes. Correct. Correct. So the he's saying very good. So I don't need court to destroy it, but I need a rabbi to destroy it. Without a rabbi, it will still be also. Because like a rabbi says, I'm going to listen to him. Okay? So the rabbi had to permit it. Without a rabbi permitted it, it wouldn't be permitted. But I don't need a court to destroy it. That's what Tosha says. Continue. The Gemara says, nowadays, they made even bread. Rabbi did not want to permit it because he didn't want to be called a basin that is permits things. But really, after Rabbi Nasi, basin came out of the court and permitted it. So suddenly Tosha says you need court. The beginning Tosha says I don't need court. Then in the end of Tosha says, Rabbi Yehuda said if I would permit, I'll be a light rabbi, a basin maker, a lenient basin. But after Rabbi Yehuda, another basin came and permitted it. It means that since that second basin, much lower basin, not the same level, numbers are not the same wisdom, so it's considered not a basin. It's not considered a basin. Again, Tosis proves from the words of Rabbi Yochanan that it was permitted on a basin means I don't need basin. And Rabbi is able to permit it. But who permitted it? Basin permitted it, on a lower level of basin, lower level of Chokhmah, permitted. But you need a basin somehow. Why in the basin? Not a single rabbi. But Rabbi was single. Okay. But it's like a kind of steer. So Rabbi Bezdino permitted it. The question would he permitted it? But later on, they permitted it totally that according to it was a basin. It wasn't the same level of basin. Yes. Good. I just have to quick for Oid Amim Yerushalmi. The Pirkei Pekam Shabbos spot on Dolovitiru. He found in Yerushalmi that there was a basin. They stood in it and they permitted it. Which means, although it's not the same level, it's much later basin, and I don't need basin. So it says I don't need basin, even later basin, lower basin, even though it's not like considered basin, that is wise and wisdom and numbers like the original basin that made the decree. Only a lower basin, I don't need a basin, so therefore a lower basin can permit it. And that's Yerushalmi.
But if you can need, if you one rabbi allowing to eat, it's okay. Of course, if you're not bathing, it's better higher than a rabbi. So should he?
Yes, but even though the basin was lower than the original basin, but it's at least a rabbi who permitted it. Let's just conclude. I'm pushing to read the conclusion because it's very important. One is prohibited from the bread of goyim. He's allowed to eat with somebody who's not careful. The koach has one bowl. Even though the taste of the bread of goyim mixed with patty soil, you don't prohibit tarois. The taste tells a very big yesod. Bishul akum, kinas akum, cholav akum. We prohibit tarois. Cholav akum not clear. Means our bread of akum is also betarois. Did he make a decree on Tamai? I gave no bemona the goyim. Show you also you're allowed to cook with the vessels of goyim. The leisel lepat beina, there's no bread in reality, which means if I bake bread on a vessel that the goyim baked bread on it, so I have a taste of a bread of goyim, it's permitted. Since it's not bein, like goes where like this beina. He says since it's a dixeya and was not accepted, so basing a lower basing can permit it, number one. Number two, taroides is permitted because the decree was only bein. But if it will be bishul akum, what about taroides bishul akum? Let's say I have cooked food and I took some of it and I cooked some other food with that cooked food. So it's mixture. Or in the bread I have some of it cooked food. Mixture. Yes. So by bishul akum, taroides is also. But by pat akum, so says it's permitted. Why? We have to learn more. Now we have to learn the Gemara Daf Lamed for Lamed Zayin Amud Beis V'Ashlokos. Okay? Gemara there, and the Toises V'Ashlokos, the big Toises, which we learned it, and also we have to learn the Gemara here in Daf Lamed for Amud Aleph.
Lamed Vav. Where? Lamed Vav.
Or not, those are we have the things, but that's for tomorrow morning. Rabbi Hanania ben Akash, we can give a papers. Rabbi Hanania ben Akash, the ones that spoke with Sami for the people. Here, when we just remember what's about still to the other. And then we Kadesh, say, I want to go to the basis for you. I don't know if my boy woman. Isador, Isaleli, Salor, Rebucho, they don't go to the woman, and this love of Rabonot, not the video, the release of video. But home and those Kimora, you second shot day. On a sour, you know, what you are walking with Israel.
הלשון קצת מוזר, לא היה צריך להיות כתוב, אין גוזרים, אם מה שקובע זה